Absolutely, such a nice song. It is a Big Sean hanging out with Kanye West, and I'm not forgetting the man John Legend, right? John VOW FM 88.1. Time exactly quarter past 6. If you just tune in right now, welcome to the show. This is the Poetry Circle. Harvey T is my name, and I am standing in for Tess. Super excited. You know why? Because I am joined by talent. And every Sunday I get so excited when I do this show because I'm always surrounded by talent, right? I'm joined by Kapeisi Dadi. He's a poet and a student at the University of Witwatersrand studying electrical engineering. And he's here to, showcase some of his talent, when it comes to the poet, because he's a poet. He's going to showcase some of his poems that he does every now and then. And not only that, he's also part of the Vets Poet Corner, and he's joining us to showcase and share with us his journey to this thing called a poet or poem, just to make it simple, right? Mr. Kape, how are you doing, man?
Uh, I'm doing okay. How are you, sir?
I'm good, man. How was your Sunday, my brother?
It's super fly, super fly.
What
How's
did-
yours?
Mine was a little bit of busy. It was a busy Sunday, but we made it, eh?
Yeah,
What were you busy with? Were you only busy with the seven colors?
no, not necessarily.
Uh-huh.
I was preparing for the show, yes, of course.
Yeah,
And other than that, I was studying.
lovely. And one thing that I realize about you is that you are punctual. Is that how you are whenever you do interviews, whenever you go for meetings or class? Are you always a punctual person, or is it because of today, Jay? It's that time where you're coming to for a radio interview, and you were like, this is my first time, I have to do it.
Now, I feel like punctuality is one of my strengths.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because I'm always that person who will always be 20 minutes early. Yeah,
Mm. So, how do you deal with people who disrespect your time, people who don't respect time?
it's really frustrating, I tell you,
Mhm.
because if we decide on what time we're going to meet up, I feel like you should take it upon yourself and make it a point that you are there by that hour.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay, no, I'm super impressed. At least today I managed to take some of the skills from you, hey, and I think I'm gonna implement this habit when I go further when it comes to my life, because punctuality is key. Punctuality
Exactly.
is key. Now you are a poet
Yeah,
and also a student
true.
at the University of Witwatersrand studying electrical engineering.
Mhm.
First of all, why electrical engineering?
To be honest with you, I wanted to do medicine, but because my application for medicine was rejected, I was accepted to do electrical engineering. And at first, I did not love it, but as they really say that all things work together for the good of those who, whatever. Um, I'm loving it right now. I love
Mm.
what I'm doing.
So it took a while for you to love it, right?
It took me 6 months.
6 months.
Yeah,
It's not bad. It's not bad. At least not more than a year. At least not more than a year.
yeah.
Now let's get into your poetry journey. Because I believe that in everything that you do in life, there's always gonna be an inspiration behind that.
True.
And one thing that I want to know from you right now is that what originally drew you into poetry as a whole?
Um, okay, my poetry journey started with me aspiring to be a rapper.
Mm,
So it was back in primary, I think grade five.
lovely.
Yeah, in grade five, that's where I started writing my first rap. And from there, when I got to high school, grade eight, I started writing poetry in class during free periods. And at first, I was not confident with sharing my work. So there was this one lady in our class who used to write as well. So we would exchange our poems. And then she said that um, I'm a good writer. I should really consider doing poetry. So in grade 10, I wrote a poem for my friend. At their school, they had poetry competitions. And surprisingly, he came first with the poem I wrote for him, and then he went to compete with other schools. and he took the very same poem that I had written for him, and then he used it. And even in that stage, he still came out number one. And that was really a turning point for me, because as a writer, I was like, okay, so if people think my work is good, then I should really consider taking it seriously. Yeah.
What a journey, man! What a fascinating story behind it, right?
Mhm.
I've listened to a lot of poems, right? And I like, with the poems that I've listened to, people write about different things.
Yeah.
Some write about love, some write about heartbreaks, some write about the depression, some write about the success. So I want to know from you, what are some of the things that you write about?
Mostly I write about love. Mostly I write about love. But recently I've been exploring. Writing about conditions that a lot of people are going through, especially in our black society. That's the one of the things I write about recently. Yes.
Lovely. I can't wait to hear some of your work and some of the poems that you have written. Hey,
Okay.
now you've been doing poetry since grade five, if
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
can say that.
mistaken.
You can say that. Yes.
And by grade five, what age were you?
I don't remember. I don't
It's been
remember.
it's been a while.
It's
It's been
been
a
a
while.
long
Eh?
time. Yeah.
And I do believe that there's a lot of highlights.
Yeah.
You have a lot of highlights throughout the years of you being a poet.
Yes.
What are some of your highlights, your best moments into this journey, through this journey?
Okay. As I've mentioned before that, uh, my poetry goes hand in hand with rap. Actually, I do a lot of poetry and a bit of rap. So one of my greatest highlights, I would say, is okay, when my school noticed that I was good at writing poetry. There was a time when my maths teacher passed on, and they gave me a platform to write a poem about that. I feel like that was one of the biggest platform I've ever been given, because I was writing about someone whom I was close to in terms of shaping me academically. So it wasn't really difficult for me to write about that. And my second highlight was when I was invited by Vets SRC to come and perform at a show they had early this year, uh, during O Week.
Hmm.
Yes.
That was, I mean, like the attention that you got from the crowd. For sure, it was just mind blowing, man.
And I was a bit nervous because I was not supposed to go first. So because people who were supposed to go first were not there, so I had to go first. And yeah,
Yeah. That was the best moment, I reckon. Hey,
yeah,
one thing about life is that in whatever thing that you do, whether you are an artist, whether you are a poet, whether you are a radio presenter, people around you shape the person that you are.
true.
They have a lot of either positive or negative influence towards whatever it is that you do or whatever it is that you pursue in life.
Mhm.
Now, I want to know from you right now that what has been some of the growth that you have witnessed in your poetry after joining the Vets Poets Corner. But before we get into that, I just want you to let us know what Vets Poet Corner is all about.
All right. At Vets Poise Corner, what we focus on mainly is helping people with stage presence, because a lot of artists, there are a lot of people who can write, but then when it comes to performing their work, they are a bit shy. So at Vets Poets Corner, we have a free space where everyone is comfortable, and it's so free that you can share whatever work that you as an artist have written down without the fear of being judged or your work being looked down on. So yeah.
Lovely. So, the growth that you have experienced there after joining the Vets Poetry Corner.
uh, I would say my writing skill, because at first I was too focused on writing only about love, but being in a space where there's a lot of writers and you get to hear how they use their ways to express their feelings, it's really motivating and inspiring at the same time. Because if, when I joined Vets Poets Corner, I was a bit biased when it comes to listening to other poets, and I didn't necessarily have favorite poets because I was like, poetry and rap is one and the same, so I would rather just listen to rappers. But being at that society, I got to learn that, if you really love something, you need to actually devote your time into it and follow people who are excelling in that field. Yeah.
What is strong, motivation,
Mhm.
behind your journey into, poetry and all those things. Now, you're gonna perform for us 2 or 3 poems, if I'm not mistaken.
That's three.
It's 3 poems.
Yes.
We're gonna get into the first poem, but before we get into that, what's the story behind that? What were you going through when you wrote this poem?
This one, the first one that I'm going to do, it's very personal because I wrote it uh, after getting my results. My results, yeah, and I've titled it "Why Is Failure?" because at that particular moment I felt like I'm being cornered in this box of failure. So I just wanted to let all the emotions out on paper because that's what we do as poets. We take emotions out on paper.
And that's very important because of there might be someone listening right now, and they might be going through a lot. Either they didn't qualify for an exam,
True.
or either they wrote, but they happen to have written things of which it was not planned.
Yeah.
Sometimes they were going through a lot, or someone is writing tomorrow, and they're going through a lot right now. So I hope this poem is just gonna be a remedy to open the eyes and bring out this light to whoever's going through a lot. Right? Lovely. Let's get into it, man.
Okay. Thank you. Um, why is failure? Is this how failure tastes? Like volcanic ashes on the tip of a dry tongue because every time I speak about it, it bends like I'm in hell. Is this how it looks? Like the sharp fangs of a viper sinking through the veins of an antelope, poisoning the last hope running through its blood, when all it ever desired was to run free in the jungle. Is this how it sounds? Like black clouds sliding against each other, sending down sparks of light as lightning and terrifying rumblings that resemble the roaring sound of a roaming lion in search of a dream to devour. Who has given it power? The power to emasculate the alpha male and strip him of his confidence and deny him a second chance to prove he can escape from the dance his forefathers choreographed with the serpent when they locked eyes at first glance. How does it choose victims? Does it lack in the spiritual realm, maneuvering in stealth as it pounces on its prey after it heard how it prays for strength? Or does it perhaps patiently wait in anticipation, like a scavenger staring from a distance as expectations do the killing, and comes to feed off the carcass, finish the flesh, and leave the bones as souvenirs to remind us that a dream was once alive? Why is failure?
Lovely. Courtesy of Kapei Sidati, it is all about failure. So to whoever's going through a lot right now, hope this opened your eyes. Don't give up, black child. Don't give up. Make sure that you push. Make sure that you pursue your dreams. And in whatever obstacles that you might be facing, just know that failure is not the final destination. Thank you so much, Papa.
Thank you.
Free airtime alert. Drop us a WhatsApp voice note on 084
Sure.
78
My guy.
4912 and get
Grind
your
was-
free
Yeah,
time
well,
on air. See what I did there?
Okay, we're gonna get into the second one
All right.
after this song.
All right.
Okay. Oh, one of those I'm saying, or I have conversations.
Yeah, because I was a bit nervous before this, but now.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all about conversation. So you
Yeah.
can be preparing your second one. Don't worry. You might be preparing your second one. So we're gonna continue with the interview, then do the second one. The third one we're gonna do it at toilet.
All right.
Nice one.
Thank you.
Yeah. What are some of the challenges? Okay, in 40 seconds, we're gonna get inside. We're gonna do it now.
All right.
Okay, we're going back. You can be ready right now. It's Miley Cyrus. It's called Adore You right on VOW FM 88.1. Time exactly 26 minutes to 7. It is the Poetry in Circle. Happy T. It is my name, and I am standing in for Tears from 6 p.m. up until 9 p.m. And if you just tuned in right now, welcome to it. Good evening to you. I am joined in studio by the one and only Kapei Sidadi, who is a poet and a student at the University of Witwatersrand, studying electrical engineering, and he's here to showcase some of his way of doing poetry, because of there are a lot of ways of which people improvise and showcase this talent that's called poetry, right? Thank you so much. The only way you can interact with me, it's 084 078 4912. Now, Mr. Kapei, let's just talk about the challenges, because of in everything that you do in life, there's always going to be challenges, there's always gonna be obstacles in life. Because I remember I was having a conversation with my lecturer 3 weeks back.
Yeah.
He told me that, you know what, in everything that you do in life, never expect someone to say thank you. Whether they say thank you or not, it doesn't matter.
Deep stuff.
You know, it's fine. Just pursue your dreams, do whatever it is that you do, whether you're doing it for other people or for yourself, it's still fine. Just keep on moving. And I do agree that sometimes when you write, you come across a lot of challenges. You come across, a lot of obstacles whenever you write.
Yeah.
Now, I want to know what are some of the challenges you face when writing as well as performing? Let's start with writing.
Okay. In my experience, when it comes to writing, the challenge that is common that I normally encounter is word choice. I feel like when you're writing something, you need to be careful with the words that you use. For instance, I don't just choose any word because it will get the message across. I look at several synonyms of that word before I can use a word in a sentence, because I feel like words can strongly convict a person if they are used correctly. So that's the most challenge I encounter when writing, choosing the right words. Yes.
Lovely, lovely. And with performance, because I am asking about performance. I've been doing radio for almost 2 years right now, and every day before a show, I just get nervous.
True.
I ask
That's
myself,
common.
I ask myself, Lord, I have been doing this thing for almost 2 years,
Yeah.
but why do I still get nervous? It feels like the first time, because the only thing that you want to do is to deliver.
Yeah.
The only thing that you want to do is to try your best,
And not
because you never know who's listening.
Mhm.
You never know who's watching.
True.
There might be someone who's listening, or there might be someone who's watching, and they might be holding a key, to your next opportunity. So
Yeah.
you always want to impress.
Mhm.
That's the challenge that I face. What about you?
Uh, okay, so I'll start here. Here's how I deal with challenges I encounter when performing. So my stage name is State OG, the state of greatness. So every time I'm on stage, I start by mentioning my stage name and explain it to the audience that I am the state of greatness, and that kind of reminds me of how I should perform, because the audience will be expecting something great, but sometimes it's difficult to really give the audience a good performance, or a great performance rather, because they're just there looking at you like, come on, bro, like, what are you doing? And then you're trying to vibe with them to get them into the zone that you are in.
Yes, sir.
And it's very difficult to get a crowd into a mood that you are in if they are not really paying attention to your work. So that's one of that's
And and I think it's very challenging when it comes to performing, because of people are looking at you.
Mhm.
In radio, people are just listening.
Yeah.
You don't know how they are reacting and everything. But performing, you have these thousands and thousands and thousands of people looking at you like, what are you doing, brother? Come on.
Mhm.
Can you just give us the boom?
Yeah.
And by that time, Luena, you're so nervous. But I understand what you're trying to say. Now, in life,
Mhm.
in everything that you do, there's always gonna be those people that you idolize.
Yeah.
Those people that you look up to every now and then.
Mhm.
And if you could see one of your favorite, poets perform live, who would you choose and why?
Okay. If there's any person I would really love to see perform live, is J. Cole. The reason being the fact that
Yes, sir.
he has shaped my pen game a lot. I listen to a lot of his music, and I feel like the way he writes his raps, because as I mentioned that I feel like rap and poetry, I wanted to say the way he writes, he's so genius with the words, and even the emotions he puts in his work. It's something most artists fail to incorporate into their work, but with him, it's like it's his second nature or something.
There's this song that I think it changed my life from J. Cole. It's two songs,
Mm-hmm.
but my favorite one is to be Love Yours,
Love yours.
because in that song we was talking about appreciation.
Yes.
How important is it to appreciate yourself?
Mm-hmm.
How important is it to appreciate everything that you have in life? Because we have a lot of people who, they lack a sense of gratitude.
Yeah.
Whenever they have 100 bucks, you hear them complaining, "Oh, I wish I had 200 bucks." They get 200 bucks. "Ish, I wish I had 300 bucks."
Yes.
Or "I wish I had this and this." So in that song, he was talking about the importance of gratitude, the importance of being thankful. Love yours.
Yeah.
The second one is to be in the morning. I think you know that.
Another
Obviously.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, that one, it's the best song to play in the morning. More especially if maybe you have a visitor, and just lovely,
Yes,
lovely.
yes,
Now
yes.
let's get into the second one,
Mhm.
the second poem that you're gonna perform for us.
All right.
But before we get into that, let's talk about the story behind it. What was going through when you wrote that poem?
This is the recent poem I've written, and the thought process behind it is that, okay, I hadn't written in a while, so I had been like trying to write, but I could not, maybe I should call it a writer's block, but it was not that. But I couldn't get past this. It's a feature. It's an oceanic feature that was stuck in my mind because I wanted to write something deep, and so every time I tried to write, there was this thing in my head like the Mariana Trench, the Mariana Trench. Maybe you know it, the deepest trench in the ocean that we have. So far.
Yeah.
So I've titled this poem "The Mariana Trench." Yes.
Which in simple terms it means.
You'll hear.
Okay,
You'll hear.
let's
Because-
take a listen.
Yeah.
Take it over, my guy.
Thank you. For the past few weeks, I've been longing to write something deep, but the Mariana Trench is all that I am thinking about. It has me wondering about its scary depth. It sends chills down my vertebral column like a paralysis in my sleep. It takes my breath away. Being the deepest trench to date, I still refuse to believe it's deeper than the graves that swallows lives that are yet to be lived. If it is, my question is, does it have the capacity to house the souls that are born dead? The little lives that drown in the amniotic ocean and before giving their last breath, they tried gasping for air and kicked from within the womb in attempt to escape from the great demise. But the mother was too excited because feeling the kicks from the womb is a phase in pregnancy. Is it hollower than the city's belly that has now bulged because of the dreams that were eaten before their time of ripening came with the season? Can the youth drown in this trench than they are currently drowning in the wave of depression that swallows whatever that is at sea and spews it out once it has choked the life out of it? Perhaps the Mariana Trench is the Earth's womb that gives birth to cyclones whenever the water breaks. Could that be the reason why cyclones are given human names? Cyclone Dineo, I wonder. Or maybe it's Mother Nature's eyes. And whenever anything dies, the earth cries and fills the ocean with its tears. The Mariana Trench. Thank you.
Goes by the name of Kapei Asidada, and he gave us the second one. It's called the Mariana Trench. Lovely. Yeah, we're gonna go to the last one.
All right.
Oh, and we're just having a conversation.
Guys, it's really cozy.
Just having a conversation. I don't want to make it. It's a conversation. It's not an interview. It's a conversation.
Oh, you're really good at it.
Yeah, man. It's my passion, man.
You said it's been 2 years, right? Nice.
It's been for 2 years, but we keep on learning, man.
Yeah.
I'm studying it right now here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So prepare, do your best. After this song, going back to the last segment of the show.
Can I ask the last Ted, did she inform you of the songs for the next day?
The next is
The two songs that just sent to Ted for the
she sent me one.
That's right.
Hey, let me show you, man. Hey,
The last one artist.
let me check. she didn't send me songs. Go on. Alright, who don't send it to email?
No, we're trying to guess right now. Out of us,
Aye. Gmail inbox. Yes, they sent me a message. Now I thought maybe those songs are there because they just sent me an SMS. They said yes. Let me show you the SMS. While I'm busy searching for this. This is my conversation with the guests. They did mention songs, but I had no idea. I thought maybe these are the songs they did mention. I didn't even ask further because of. I was like, okay, maybe I'm being insulted.
Okay, cool. Here's the song.
Which one?
No, can we get on my video?
Yeah. I mean, like, I want to check whether Unsendijiga is meaning now.
Okay, take a look. You said that.
Okay, sharp. Okay, we're gonna go back after this song. She goes by the name of Amifaku. Love this song. It is called Indiketewe and I write on VOW FM 88.1. Time exactly 13 minutes to 7. The Poetry Circle. It is the name of the show. Habiti. It is my name. Thank you so much for joining me. If you just tuned it right now, it is simple. The only way to communicate with me and interact with me is via all the socials. It is at Habiti_verse on Facebook. And also on Twitter. Otherwise, it is also at VOW FM, hashtag at the Poetry Circle. And right now, in the studio, I'm still joined by Kabeisi Dadi, who is a poet and a student from the University of Witwatersrand, studying electrical engineering. He's also part of the Vets Poets Corner. And he's here to showcase his talent. Because of, the platform is very, very important. When it comes to whatever talent that people have, everybody deserves a platform to showcase their talent. And here he is right now. He's about to perform the last poem, of which I can't wait to hear. My guy, my brother.
Thank you, sir.
It's been absolutely amazing. It's been a wonderful, let me just say a wonderful first hour that I had with you. And we're about to wrap up the interview. With a few of the things that I want to know from you before we wrap up the interview, right? But listen, there's someone right now listening at home, and they might be going through a feeling of not having that confidence to do whatever it is that they want to do in life, because of there's always gonna be voices telling you that you can't do it.
Yeah.
Man, you're not good at that. Man, what are you doing? You're not good at that. Stick with whatever it is that you're doing is fine. You can't do this. You can't do that.
Yes.
Because let me tell you why. Before I started radio, I didn't have that confidence to do radio. I was like, really? No, will I sound good? Do I have that radio voice? This and that.
Yeah.
But I didn't listen to all those voices. Yeah. Submitted my demos. I went straight into it. I was like, I'm gonna do this, and I did it.
Yeah.
So, what are your words to that young young boy who's sitting right now listening to this show, and they have no confidence? They're just hopeless.
Here's what I could say to them. First of all, confidence is bliss. I feel like in life, without confidence, that we are not going anywhere. As an individual, it's your responsibility to build on your confidence and you need to take care of your confidence in as much as you are taking care of your peace, because and look out for the kind of people you are keeping in your circle, because there are some people who will crush on your confidence by always giving negative comments. So what I do, I make sure that in my circle I have friends who will keep on speaking positive things into my life when I don't feel like uh, challenging the situations out there and attacking the world as it is. So it's very important to take care of your confidence, because when it comes to talent, nothing matches confidence.
And you might have the talent, but you gotta put in the work.
True.
You might have the talent, but you have to push.
Yes.
You might have the talent, but you have to wake up in the morning and go and chase your dreams.
True.
That's it.
And another thing is that there is this famous quote that hard work pays more than talent. Talent alone cannot do what talent and hard work can achieve.
And talent alone is not enough.
True.
Lovely. Now, what would you like to achieve in your life? Can be through poetry, through whatever it is that you do. What are your aspirations? What do you want to achieve in your life? What do you want to be remembered for?
I'm an artist, and by that, I'm not only doing poetry, I'm also doing music, as I've mentioned. So one of my aspirations is to own a recording studio, a recording label rather, because I feel like there's a lot of talent that is not recognized, or rather not given a platform. So I want to be that individual who stand in the gap, who will give people a platform to showcase their talent and open opportunities for them in the industry. So, and also I'm an aspiring author. I want to have at least 5 books written. Yeah,
Lovely, lovely.
yeah.
And make sure that you invite me, during your book launch, because of I also like reading. I read every now and then just to improve my vocab and just to have that positivity in my life. Lovely. It's been absolutely amazing, my brother, and thank you so much for coming up, for coming over and joining me on the Poetry Circle.
The pleasure is
But
all mine.
before we wrap up the interview, where can people find you and your poetry? Can be on social media, your handles, your booking details, everything. You also, if you want to give out your numbers, but make sure that
Okay,
Yeah.
I post a lot of my work on YouTube. On YouTube, yeah, that's where I share a lot of my work. You can just check Gape Stereo G on YouTube, and you'll see my channel there. Yeah.
Lovely. Now we're about to wrap up the interview with a poem,
Yes.
the last one.
Yeah.
What's the story behind it?
Okay, this one it's about black girls, because I feel like a lot of girls who are rather say dark in color, dark in complexion, don't have the confidence in their skin color, because I've heard a lot and I've witnessed a lot of them using these creams to change their complexion.
Man, it's sad, man.
So yeah, I wrote this one. I was trying to paint a picture with a lot of metaphors, but yeah,
And they're beautiful, man.
very,
They are beautiful,
Very
natural
beautiful.
as they are.
yeah,
And one thing that I have realized in life is that you have to tell yourself that you are beautiful. You have to tell yourself that you are handsome. You don't have to wait for someone to come and tell you.
because the world might take forever to come and
They
tell you.
might take forever to come and tell you.
Yes,
Once you get to that point where you tell yourself that, you know what, I'm beautiful, I'm handsome, you're done.
true.
You are done. So what I realize is that so many people want to be, complimented by others to feel good, which is not how it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
You know, which is not how it's supposed to be. They might not tell you, and what's going to happen if they don't? Your boyfriend might not tell you. Your girlfriend might not tell you. What's going to happen
if they don't.
if they don't? Thank you so much, my brother. Take it over.
Thank you, sir. The title of this one is The Night Walker. She fell in love with the stars and made the sun a little jealous. Her melanin was mocked by every sunrise because daylight was just the reminder of how dark her skin was. But at twilight, right after sunset, when the moon broke through the firmament, she was liberated by the shade of darkness left behind when the sun sank down into the horizons. The lazy darkness that crawled as it covered the earth drew itself closer to her skin. She became one with the night, a blackberry whose juice leaves the Milky Way tainted with a dash of charcoal gray. Oh my gosh, she was an African queen singing with the hummingbirds in the orchestra of the night while stargazing. But she is a star herself, and at times the stars gaze at her. They idolize her quiet light. Some fall at her feet to worship the sound of her tears as they drop into the dust, tears that dry off when she gets a sloppy warm kiss from the sun rays. In her heart she would hope they could erase the flaws that have piled up beneath the surface of her face, darkening her appeal in the broad daylight. She was the souvenir of nighttime. No one saw the sun that beamed through her pupils. She blinked. It was futile to help them see. They chose to be blinded by the resentment they had for black. The night walker. Thank you.
Absolutely amazing. Hashtag all the ladies, you are beautiful,
True.
just as you are. Don't wait for anyone to come and tell you how beautiful we are.